Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be doing this video. I've lasted on YouTube for longer than I thought because I'm not getting as much views as I thought. So I really sometimes lack motivation to do these videos because I'm like, are people even watching? Like, what am I doing this for, right? But these are my thoughts. I'm just sharing how my mind works and what I think about a certain topic at the time. I'm just sharing where my mind is. I'm just sharing my thoughts and where my mind is centered around. I'll start off by saying the weather outside is very gloomy. It's the 6th of March today. Is it the 6th? Yes, it is. It's the 6th of March and the weather is very gloomy. It's very cold and I just did my laundry and I'm hoping that it rains because I need that rain to just go over my laundry and kind of rinse the laundry that I've done. It's always nice to have rain pouring on your laundry because it kind of rinses your laundry and it's just a nice feeling for me. Hey, don't shoot me for that. It's just my preference. I love it when it rains on top of my clothes. Be indoors if you can. It's very cold. Make tea if you love tea. Drink tea or drink any warm drink that you can lay your hands to because it's very cold and being outside is not really an ideal. It hasn't been cold like this in so long, so this is very uncomfortable for us. Now today, my friends, we are speaking about a topic that is very controversial. It is very controversial. A lot of people have different thoughts on this topic and I'm just here to lay my 2 cents, right? You would have seen from the title of this video that we are discussing women and patriarchy. Now, my thoughts are centered around women a lot because I'm a woman myself and most things that affect women will generally affect me or maybe even obviously affect me because I'm a woman and I live in a very woman-led household country, right? A lot of households in South Africa are woman-led and that is a fact more than an opinion. We can take it back, right? We can take it back to where it started. Women were not allowed in the past to have a word. Women were not allowed to say anything. And that's what we are told. We are told that women were not allowed to have bank accounts. Women were not allowed to buy cars. Women were not allowed to buy homes and just work in general, right? So the woman was supposed to be at home, be a home nurturer and just be a person who makes sure that the home is warm, bear children for these men and make sure that the home is warm enough for the men. Now, women were disadvantaged because of that, because now they didn't have a say, they didn't have things to fend themselves with. When a man wanted to run away, they could easily do so. And we've seen how those laws put women in a disadvantage because now women were dependent on men, and as much as we may try to say men were reliable at that time as compared to now, but at some point your own dependence is important, right? And we had some policies around that supporting the development of women because now the world was changing and women were allowed to go to work and earn money for themselves and were now allowed to just have their own assets and build wealth for themselves. Men are not necessarily posing happiness on that. That's not what they're used to. Men are not really used to seeing women shining. They're not used to seeing women shining in workplaces. They're not used to seeing women having their own houses, buying their own cars and being independent. Women are now not even running after men when they don't support their children. They just let them go because women know that they're working and they're able to support their own and they don't have to run after a man anymore like they used to do in the past. And I think that rubs off men in the wrong way, in a sense that it's something that they're not used to, and now that it's presented to them, they don't know how to react to it. You know, a child, there are videos online, it's funny videos, but I'm gonna use them to explain the situation that I'm trying to lay out here. There are videos online where when babies start to eat and babies maybe start to chew on food, there are videos online that would mothers would give their babies lemons. Children would get to taste lemon for the first time. And you can see how uncomfortable it is for a baby, right? They would do facial expressions, they would just be uncomfortable in general, because you can imagine that it's citrusy, it's a different taste, man. It's a taste that they are not used to. Their taste buds cannot really handle that taste, so they kind of make funny faces. Even an adult can make a funny face when they get to taste lemon juice, because that citrus is kind of uncomfortable for people's taste buds. Now you can imagine the same thing for men. When men learn that now women have power and can have even power over them, it's kind of uncomfortable for them, because it's not what they're used to, right? Which people call it patriarchy. Men want to have power because that is what they were taught, that is what was given to them, and having that been taken away from them is really uncomfortable for them. And I can understand why. It makes sense if we were to think about it. Now, I don't know the real history behind women going to work. I just know that at some point laws were introduced to empower women, empower them in workplaces, allow them to get promotions at work, allow them to fend for themselves and make their own wealth, have their own income. And as much as we can say it was uncomfortable to see the shift for men, I think it's also uncomfortable for women at some point, because I do believe that the nature of a man is to be the two P's, right? Provide and protect. And I do believe also that the primary thing for a woman is to nurture a home. And you taking me away from my natural position, taking me to a place where I have to fend for myself, I have to fight for a salary, I have to fight to have a home, I have to pay debit orders, I have to pay insurance, I have to pay rent, I have to pay for a car, I have to pay for petrol. It could be uncomfortable for me, because that's also not what I'm used to. It's not the softness that I wanted to have, right? I wanted to have a man supporting me, and I wanted to help a man build their dream. Now, unfortunately, men are untrustworthy and men are unreliable. We had to go and work for ourselves and not rely on men anymore. But just because I can make my own income doesn't mean it's where I want to be. We've seen that a lot from women online expressing it, saying, if I had an option to be a housewife, then I would take that option. It's just that men are unreliable. I can't just trust on a man to just support me and trust that tomorrow he'll bring in the bread. Because what if he doesn't? What if tomorrow he goes outside and sees Umas Banbani and decides to no longer bring the bread to my house, but bring the bread to Usbanbani's house? And I think for most women, if they had an option to just be housewives and be nurturers of homes and not have to go to workplaces and work, I think they would take that option if it was favorable for them. If it was favorable for them, I think they would. And that's just my personal opinion, me included. I would take that. If I had a man that I trusted, and if I trusted a man to be a man in his position, and I trusted me as a woman to be a woman in my position, and I trust us to merge these two worlds and make a home out of it and make a life that is really sustainable, then I would choose to do that. Because going to work is fun, because at the end of the month you have money for yourself, but it's not something, it's not in me. It's not in me for real. I mean, I can say it as much as I want to, that I don't want to get married, and that's because of circumstances, right? If men were reliable enough to take care of me, if men were reliable enough to carry on bringing the bread and making sure that the home is well sustained financially, is well protected, is well provided for, then I would choose to be a housewife. I'd really choose to be a housewife. And there's a lot of women who've came out and expressed the same feelings and the same sentiments as mine, that we are choosing not to be these people because of circumstances, because of how untrustworthy men are, because of how unreliable men are. I don't believe we are out here trying to fight for spaces as women, trying to be seen in the world. So in essence, this is just me saying, women are who they are and they take on the roles that they take upon today because of circumstances. If roles were reversed, or if issues were not the way that they are, if it was favorable for us to just be housewives and nurture homes, then we would do that. But because men are unreliable, we can't do that. The traditional way of doing things does not favor us anymore. And if it did favor us, then we would follow it. I mean, who are we to argue against tradition? Who are we to argue against culture? It worked in the past, but because times have changed, it's no longer working. And it could be nice at some point because, yes, I'm liberated, yes, I'm empowered, yes, I'm doing this and that for myself. But if we were to sit down and analyze situations, it's not really a favorable situation for us as women. I mean, I've expressed countless times that I don't want children, right? So that I'm not really fit to have children, that I'm not fit to take care of children. Because of also, it stems from how unreliable men are. I believe I've expressed a lot that I believe a child should be raised by both parents, and men run away, guys. But now, as much as I've said I don't want to have children, I've seen myself around other people's children. I've seen how caring I am. I've seen how automatic it comes for me to take on the motherly role on other children, on other babies, just because I think I was born for that. I was born to be a mother. I was born to nurture children. I was born to be a caregiver to children. But because of circumstances, I don't want to do that anymore. Because of circumstances, I have to go to work. Because of circumstances, I have to fight in corporate roles with other men. I have to put on my big girl pants and go to work each and every morning, which is, it's nice, yes, because I get a salary, but it's not nice because that's not what I'm here to do as much as my beliefs are concerned. So I just want us to kind of put a standstill to this thing that women are fighting with men and women are fighting for these positions. We are fighting for them because of circumstances, not because we want to. And if we can turn things and go back to the traditional way of doing things, I think the world would be a better place to live in. If we were to do things the way they were done in the past, I think we would do better. This is not to say women are not smart. Hey, I'm a woman myself, and I'm smart as hell. I do believe, if I do say so myself, and I'm not saying also that women are not deserving of these spaces. They are, because they're working for them, right? And they are taking this leather, these corporate leathers, and they're proving themselves to be deserving. But if we were to go back to the traditional ways, I do think women would choose to do things the traditional way. And I think we should stop this notion to say women are fighting with men. We are not fighting with men. We are not fighting against patriarchy. We are just saying the world has changed and things are no longer the way they were in the past, and things are no longer favorable for us as women, and we had to take a short left. We had to change things a bit, and we had to fend for ourselves, which is what we are trying to do now. So let us stop fighting amongst ourselves, men. It's not really worth it. We as women are just trying to do what we have to do to survive, and yeah, that's just how I see it. I'd like to get your thoughts around this. I'd like to hear what you think about this topic. Please do comment below, leave a comment, and let me know what you think. Do women enjoy this space of taking now the patriarchal role, or do they really are mothers and nurturers of homes and would go back to the traditional ways of doing things if there was an opportunity to do so? Just let me know what you think down below, and let's have a discussion about this, man. Thank you again for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to put on that comment. Let me know what you think and like the video. Bye. See you next time. Peace.